Hi, everyone. My name is Mr. Rosas, and I'm a fourth grade teacher at David G. Burnett Elementary in Dallas ISD. And I am very happy to be working with United to Learn to bring you a series on mindfulness and social emotional learning. Today's topic is going to be understanding our brain. Now, let's begin with this quote. It's not what happens to you, but how you react to it that matters. Now, I want you to maybe close your eyes and think of a situation where something came up unexpectedly and you didn't have time to plan what you were going to do or say, and you just reacted. And later you look back and you feel bad and you said, I wish I could have done things differently. I wish I hadn't said those words that hurt somebody, or I could have taken the high road. And then you just feel bad. Maybe discuss that right now with your family. You're welcome to pause this video wherever and whenever you want. Well, that's happened to me, and I felt bad and ashamed, and it still happens sometimes. But the key to understanding yourself and empowering yourself is getting to know your brain. And today we're going to learn about 3 structures in the brain that work together to help us respond to the environment around us and even have to do with the way that we learn. So let's begin. This first structure that we're going to talk about is located behind your forehead. Pretty big part of your brain. And it's called the prefrontal cortex. Can you say that with me? Prefrontal cortex, or PFC for short. Now, what does this structure do? This structure helps us with evaluation, problem solving. When you are learning, right, or you're trying to solve like a math problem, and you're trying to see what operations do I use? Do I carry the one? How do I do this? You're using your prefrontal cortex. When you're reading a story and you're trying to understand what's going on and why the characters do the things they do, you're using your prefrontal cortex. Also, when you play video games, analyzing the stage or how the boss fights back so you can beat them, PFC, prefrontal cortex. I think very important thing to know is that it also helps us with empathy. And empathy is the ability of putting yourself in somebody else's shoes to try to understand their perspective. In a nutshell, the PFC helps us make good choices. And I like to think of it as a wise owl. If we allow it, if we strengthen it, it's going to help us make the right choices, use the right memories so that we can be successful and that maybe we can be kinder and make more connections with people. The next structure is located right here behind your ears, and it's called the hippocampus. Can you say that with me? Hippocampus. And simply, the hippocampus stores important memories or information. I know, for example, in my school, my students have to memorize their student ID so they can log onto their computers or even go to the cafeteria and get their lunches. So if you have to memorize your school ID, that's where it lives. If you memorize your timetables and they say, quickly, 6 times 7, and you reach back into that corner of your brain and you figure out the answer, you're going back into that hippocampus. So it's very important that when we're in school, our prefrontal cortex is lit up, is on, so that whatever information that we're getting from our teacher, we know and we store it here on our hippocampus. Also, it stores memories. It could be pleasant memories, could be unpleasant memories. For example, think of a baby touching a hot stove and it hurts. And the hippocampus is going to record that memory because it's important, so that the next time the baby sees the stove and the prefrontal cortex is on, that memory comes up and the prefrontal cortex analyzes the memory and says, oh, no, wait, do you remember what happened yesterday when we touched that stove? It hurt. Let's not. I like to think of the hippocampus as a flash drive or a USB stick where you can just download important memory and access it if you need it. The next structure is located in the center of our brain, and it's pretty small. It's about the size of an almond, and it's called the amygdala. Can you say that with me? Amygdala. And the amygdala is our emotional control center. Now, if our prefrontal cortex is strong and it has a good relationship with our amygdala, it can help us kind of like level our emotions. But if our amygdala is super strong and hyperactive, it could turn up the volume on an emotion. You can go from feeling a little bit bothered to enraged, right? Its main job is to keep us alive. It's scanning for danger all the time. And when it perceives danger coming your way, it sounds an alarm in your brain, which sends signals all over your body, and it activates the fight or flight response, which means if you find yourself in danger, you're either going to fight whatever's putting you in danger to survive, or you're going to run away or try to hide. And sometimes you can even feel so overwhelmed that you just freeze. You can't think, you can't talk. Now, when that happens, when that amygdala sounds the alarm, it cuts off our prefrontal cortex. It takes control so that it's going to be harder for you to make good choices when that amygdala is on. And sometimes it's going to be even harder also to remember certain things, right? Because the amygdala is like, you don't have time to think. You got to run. You're in danger. The amygdala means well. The issue here is that it mistakes, or it can mistake, stress for danger. If a car's coming my way and it gets onto the street and is literally coming my way, that's dangerous. Like I could lose my life. I have to run. I don't have time to think. Now that's an appropriate response. That's when the amygdala is truly doing its job and saving us. But if I'm at school and the teacher hands me a test and my throat starts closing and my tummy starts doing this, the amygdala is confusing a test which is stressful for danger. Now, tests can be stressful, but they're not a true danger to our lives. Yet the amygdala can confuse the stress for the danger, and then your amygdala is on, your prefrontal cortex is off, your hippocampus is wishy-washy, and you can't remember your strategies, you can't understand the reading selection, and then you know the outcome. So it's very important that we get to know those parts of our brain, because they not only affect the way we react to things that happen in everyday life, they affect the way that we learn. I like to compare the amygdala to a guard dog or a watchdog. You know those dogs that they're laying in their backyard and they see people coming and they just go, whoa, 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 they start barking, sounding the alarm, danger, danger, because they're confusing the person for an intruder. Now, maybe one time an intruder does come in and the dog defends the home and barks, right? But a lot of the times the people that pass by that house, they're not intruders, yet the dog can't tell the difference. So the same thing happens with the amygdala. Now, the thing about our brain is that our brain can change. It can change and grow out of patterns if we put practice into it, if we exercise certain parts of our brain. And so we have to think, and I want you to stop and reflect. When things happen that are out of your control or unexpected, how do you take on that situation? Are you reactive? Do you do things or say things without thinking and later on you regret them? Or are you the type of person that makes a pause and thinks about things and then goes from there? You might want to pause and have a discussion with your family. Now I'm going to post you a scenario, put a scenario here. Same scenario, but two complete different outcomes. Now, let's say that you're in the supermarket, you have your cart and you're just browsing, and all of a sudden, okay, ouch, you feel this sharp pain on the back of your foot. Somebody has slammed their cart on the back of your foot and it hurts. Now, if your amygdala is stronger than your prefrontal cortex, that pain, that information is going to go straight to your amygdala. And you know, the amygdala is like, we either fight or we run away. And it's going to cut off the prefrontal cortex. You're not going to have time to analyze. You're just going to react, and you might turn and say something really mean, or you might do something really mean, like push the person, because your amygdala thought that they were attacking you, that you were in danger. Maybe here's another opportunity for you to pause and think. Just think back on those ouch moments, those times where something happened and you reacted in a way that was not kind. Maybe sometimes, when you come home from school and you're tired and your mom tells you to clean your room in a nice way and you say something mean back to your mom. Has that ever happened? It happened to me when I was younger. So that could be an outcome. Information goes straight to your amygdala, and then you react, and then you do things, and later on you just feel bad about the things you did. Now let's go to the second scenario. You're still in the supermarket and somebody bumps into you, that ouch. But let's say you have a strong prefrontal cortex. So that ouch, that pain information is going to go to the prefrontal cortex. And we know that PFC likes to analyze, likes to look at information and solve the issue. So what's going to happen is your prefrontal cortex receives that ouch, and instead of reacting, it's going to look. And you might see the person that bumped into you do this. That image that goes into your eyes goes into your prefrontal cortex, and it analyzes, and it says, it looks like they made a mistake, like they didn't mean it. And then you stop and you listen to them, and they say, I am so sorry. Are you okay? I'm just so distracted today. I don't know what's going on. And your prefrontal cortex says, maybe they're having a bad day. See, is that empathy piece that lives here in the PFC. And so you decide, hey, they didn't mean it. I'm not in danger. And you say, don't worry. It's okay. And you move on with your day. I might say it's the same scenario, right? But the outcomes are different. And so think about the way you react to things like that, unexpected things that happen in your life. Does the information go straight to your amygdala and you react? Or do you think about things and analyze things? So the purpose of this video series is going to be to teach you how your brain works, and also teach you strategies that are going to help you be more self-aware, know when that ouch happens and when it's going to go to the amygdala, and make a pause and do strategies to help you channel that information to your PFC and have a strong PFC, so that even under the toughest circumstances, most of the time, you'll be able to make good choices, connect with others, and be a resilient person. So I hope you stick around and keep watching these videos as they come. And I hope you learn a lot. And I'll see you next time. Bye.